Nikola Tesla gave the world alternating current, radio, the Tesla coil, remote control, X-ray research, hydroelectric power. He handed us the modern world on a silver platter. And then he died. Alone. In a hotel room. In debt. Feeding pigeons. The man who lit up the entire planet couldn't keep the lights on in his own life. So what the hell happened? History tells us Tesla was robbed. That Edison stole his ideas. That J.P. Morgan cut his funding. That the world failed him. And look, some of that is true. But here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud: Tesla also failed Tesla. The genius who understood electricity better than any human alive made decisions so self-destructive that you have to wonder. Was it bad luck? Or was something else going on inside that brilliant, broken mind? Forget what your textbooks told you. Forget the victim story. Today, we're going inside the actual psychology of Nikola Tesla. And what I found. It changes everything you thought you knew about the man. To understand Tesla, you have to go back to when he was 7 years old. His brother Dane, the favorite son, the golden child, fell off a horse and died. And Tesla's parents? They never fully recovered. His mother poured every hope she had left into Dane's memory. And Tesla spent the rest of his life doing one thing: trying to replace a ghost. No matter what he achieved, it never felt like enough. That's not a metaphor. That's the engine running everything that came after. And here's where it gets darker. His father wanted him to become a priest. Tesla wanted to be an engineer. That argument nearly broke them. Tesla got cholera, almost died, and only then did his father agree to let him study engineering. Think about that. He had to nearly die just to get permission to be himself. That kind of conditional love? It leaves a mark. You start to believe that unless you're performing at maximum capacity, unless you're the greatest, you don't deserve to exist. Fast forward to 1888. Tesla is working with Westinghouse. He holds a contract, a royalty agreement, worth millions. Millions that would have made him the wealthiest inventor in history. And then George Westinghouse tells him the company is struggling. That if Tesla keeps the royalties, Westinghouse might go bankrupt. And Tesla? He took that contract. Tore it up. Threw it in the trash. Said he owed Westinghouse everything and wouldn't take a cent. Everyone calls this noble. But let me ask you something different. What kind of man gives away millions, not because he has to, but because deep down, he genuinely believes he doesn't deserve them? Because here's what the history books skip. Tesla didn't just give away money once. He did it over and over again. Every time he had enough to be comfortable, something inside him found a reason to walk away from it. He couldn't let it go even when he wanted to. He funneled every dollar back into his experiments. Projects that were bigger, wilder, more expensive than anything the market would ever pay for. His way of dealing with the pain was to disappear into the work. The work was the only place he felt real. Then came Wardenclyffe. His dream, a global wireless power tower. Free energy for the entire world. J.P. Morgan funded it. And then Morgan pulled the funding when he realized he couldn't meter it. Couldn't charge for it. And Tesla? Tesla fell apart. He had a full breakdown. Checked himself into a hospital. The stress was literally eating him alive. He lost weight, lost sleep, lost his grip on the world around him. But here's the question nobody asks: why did Tesla design a system with no revenue model? He was brilliant enough to invent it. Was he not smart enough to see it needed money? Or did some part of him already know it was going to be taken away? Some people called it genius. Others called it madness. Maybe it was both. Tesla's rituals got worse over time. He couldn't eat at a table without counting the steps to the restaurant first. He was obsessed with the number 3. He couldn't touch other people's hair. He required 18 napkins at every meal, exactly 18. These weren't quirks. His body was sending him a message his brain refused to hear. He was drowning. And the more he drowned, the harder he worked. By the end of his life, Tesla was living in a hotel room. He kept pigeons. He had a special attachment to one white pigeon, a female, that he nursed back to health himself. He said, and I'm not making this up, he said that pigeon was the great love of his life. A man who could have had everything. Who turned down millions. Who chose solitude over intimacy every single time. And the one love he admitted to was a bird. Does that sound like a man who was robbed by the world? Or does that sound like a man who was running from something inside himself? Here's what I think is really going on. Tesla was brilliant. Genuinely one of the greatest minds in human history. But that brilliance came wrapped in a wound that never healed. The boy who could never replace his dead brother. The son who had to nearly die just to earn permission to follow his own path. He built a wall around himself so nobody could get close. Not Edison. Not Morgan. Not anyone. And when you're that alone, when your work is the only thing that makes you feel valid, you will burn it all down before you admit you need help. And here's the lesson that cuts close to home. We celebrate Tesla as a martyr. As proof that the world doesn't deserve genius. But that framing lets us off the hook from asking the harder question, how many brilliant people do you know, or maybe are you, who self-sabotage not because the world fails them, but because they never truly believed they deserved to win? Tesla's tragedy isn't that Morgan pulled the funding. Tesla's tragedy is that some part of him expected it. The next time you watch someone brilliant destroy their own career, or the next time you walk away from something you deserve, ask yourself Tesla's question, am I doing this because it's the right call? Or am I doing this because the boy inside me still doesn't believe he earned it? So here's what I want to know. Do you think Tesla was a victim, a genius robbed blind by greedy men? Or do you think the real enemy was inside him the whole time? There's no right answer. But I've got a feeling the comments section is about to get very interesting. Drop your take below. And if this one made you think, the next video is already waiting for you.